What up? What up? Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear
See,
me?
hold on. I can't hear you. 1 second. Here we go. All right, I got you. What's
Uh,
up?
I was just mouthing.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
Mm.
no, but I heard you in the first little, like, I heard this little, that's how I knew. It was just like a little, like, thing in the earbuds, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, so what's going on? What you been doing today, man?
Today, I got up, did my meditation. Um, I do like morning meditation at Ishakira. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
I haven't. Catherine and I meditate. We do like the boho beautiful. I don't know if you've
I never heard of
it's
that.
some
I've only really checked out this one, and that's just kind of the one I stuck with.
so what is it called again?
Uh, Ishakira.
Ishakira. Okay, I'll
Yeah,
have to
try
check
that.
that out.
It's there's like a guy, a SAG guru.
Uh-huh.
I think I saw him on like Joe Rogan or something one time or something like that. But he's like a, like a guru type guy, and he's got all kinds of different things. But yeah, that's just a morning like meditation that I do. I usually wake up and do that. And that's something I don't know, I just started doing, I don't know, 3 months ago, I think, because like, with all this stuff, I've seen your growth too, and it's not all just real estate, it's mindset and everything else. It's like,
Yeah, it's definitely like when I first got in, I was like, okay, I can do this. This is just like, all right, I gotta call people and make money. Like that's all I gotta do. And that's it's not that at all. You know,
I mean, it could be that for someone, but
yeah,
I
but you got to have self-discipline. And I think that, like, that's where, like, kind of like meditation, like writing down affirmations, like reading a book for 30 minutes, stuff like that's self-discipline because it's really easy to just, for that hour and a half sleep in and not do it.
yeah.
And if you wake up and do that every single day, it makes a dramatic change in your life.
Well, and it's just it's like different than like normal, like a job you would prepare for or something, like because in this, like we know what we're going to be, and we need to prepare ourselves to be that person. So when we
Mhm.
get there, we will know how to handle it, and we won't fail at that point. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
we got to get our minds rich because our finances are gonna be rich. Like,
Right, right, yeah, and you know where you're going to be, so you want to be prepared when you get there, to be able to handle it, and then also do the right things because it's easy to go down like a bad path. Like I've went down a bad path in life, and I was poor, like I didn't have any money. You know what I'm saying? So like, imagine what I could do with money if I wasn't in the right place. Like it
right.
would be a disaster. So I it's isn't it just a crazy thing, like once you jump in and you really start reading and you really start working on yourself and focusing in, and like just that feeling of just, man, dude, what is like it's the feeling of like you go to watch a Netflix thing and you're like, bro, I can't watch this. You're like, this is like, this is not productive. I can't do this.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Have you had that
100%.
feeling?
Oh, 100%. I don't do anything that's not productive. Like I
Right.
really don't.
Yeah.
Like, and that's how it is. I cut out everything. Like, when I first got into this, which was in, let's see, I'd say March. So just of this year,
March.
I
Okay.
got it. I didn't really know anything about real estate. The only person in my family that even owns a house is my grandma, and she had to work her whole life in a steel mill to get it. So like, so I don't have any knowledge of real estate or any of that. Or
Right.
so I got into it, and I actually saw that Paul McComas on TikTok, and he was
Yeah.
and
Paul McComas. Yeah. I've
and I
seen him.
related I related to him so much because he was like a mechanic, and was blue collar, and I'm a machinist by trade, and I just
Mhm.
got out of the machine shop at the beginning of this year because
Okay.
I could see that there's no retirement in that for me. You go to
Mhm.
work every day, there's everybody in the whole damn shop is depressed. And
Mhm.
all these old guys there, you go and you're like, "Hey, good morning." They're like, another day in paradise, like living the dream. I
Oh,
hate that. It's like, dude,
yeah.
so I was like, I got to get out of here. I got to be another way to live.
You're like, that was gonna be me if I
Yeah,
keep doing this.
yeah, it would have been, and I would have been beat down and broken and have no money to make someone else's dream happen.
Right, right. And
Yeah,
that's really awesome that you even say that, make someone else's dream happen. You're automatically your thoughts, like I can just tell by the way that you talk, like you're obviously putting others ahead of yourself, like even just in conversation, that's really, really good. And I like that about you. I just
yeah.
wanted to say that.
Thank you. I'm an empath at heart. I wear my heart on my sleeve. If you believe in astrology, I'm a Cancer, but
I am a
that's what the girls tell me.
Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn. Yeah.
Dude, Kid Rock was a Capricorn.
January 7th. Yeah. Um, so dude, so you started in March. You've pretty much hit the ground running then,
I
because
definitely hit the
um
ground running. Yeah.
I've been looking, obviously. So the first I know that I saw you in the wholesale hotline chat a lot when I had first got into it, because like I got my first deal in September last year, so like almost a year ago, literally.
Mhm.
Um and then her grandparents got really sick and passed away, so
Aw.
we were their caregivers for like maybe 2.5 months. And we really took a step back in the real estate thing, and we didn't really do anything. So when I jumped back in is when I found Wholesale Hotline. I think originally the first person was Paul McComas that I saw, and then Jerry Norton is how I got my first
Yep.
deal, because I followed everything Jerry said on the agent thing, and it was
Yeah.
like exactly like he said, boom, 30 days. It's kind of like a simple thing. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I just did it, I just took the
Yeah.
action, and
Plug and
it
play.
ended up,
Yeah.
yeah, it was really cool experience. I don't know if it was like the greatest thing like for me, because like it was too easy almost. Like I didn't make that many calls, but
Right.
it's all been a process to get me here to where I'm at right now. And I feel very comfortable, but um I'm interested to know about this fourplex that you bought. What's going on? I know that did you just acquire that? How did you
Yeah.
acquire
I
that?
I just acquired it. Me and I actually have a partner in on it too, Ben
Okay.
Martinez. And so he's part of the powerhouse with me. And then we actually partnered up here in Ohio now. He's out in California, but he's a gator lender and that. And so we partnered up on this. It was brought to me from another wholesaler.
Okay.
And actually, the guy said he had it under contract. And I was like, okay, well, I'd like to go check it out. Can you, make me an appointment with the seller?
Mhm.
So, it was up in Cleveland, Ohio. That's about, I don't know, an hour and a half from me, and I used to live up there, so I'm familiar with the area and everything.
Mhm.
So, he made me an appointment, and met up with the seller. I liked the place. Me and him talked for all day that day, just back and forth, and negotiations, and like I don't know, I feel uncomfortable in negotiations, but I would go back to my partner, I'm like, "Well, he said this, like, da, da, da," and he's like, "Yeah, but we need this, Josh, we need this," and I'm like, "Alright, whatever you tell me to do," because my partner, Ben, he's the financial numbers guy,
Mhm.
he does gator lending, and so he's more in touch with a lot of lenders, and, you know, he's never been late on a bill his whole life,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Whoa, I don't even know if I've ever paid one on time," like I
That's
need
kind
him.
of how I am.
So
Yeah.
that's why he's my partner, you know what I mean? Like I need that.
Right.
And so with him, I went back and forth with the seller. We finally got it under contract for 116.5.
Okay.
So it's a fourplex, all brick building, 2 bedroom, 1 bath in each unit. And it's currently rented out for 550 per unit. So that's $2,200 a month that it's
Mhm.
cash flowing right now.
Are you gonna move into it, or are you just keeping it?
No, I'm going to keep it, and
Okay.
I'm not moving
Oh,
into this one. I'm gonna keep all the tenants in it, and we're
that's
just gonna,
awesome.
yeah, so we'll just cash flow from it all, immediately.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. I didn't know. See, I think maybe one time in Powerhouse, me and you had talked, and you were talking about maybe doing like the
203K.
what is it?
It's a 203K FHA loan.
Right, right.
That was,
And that,
I just bought a triplex also, and the triplex is here in my hometown. And I
mhm.
was going to do a 203K loan on it and just live in, because one of the stipulations for that is you have to live in it for an X amount of time. It has to be your primary residence to to do that loan.
Right,
But
right.
that loan is awesome. Like it can help a lot of people. Actually, there's a guy, he runs the 203K way. His name's Matt. He'll be on the Powerhouse tomorrow in the evening at 6 o'clock. Well, it'll be 6 o'clock Eastern time, 3 o'clock Pacific. But he's going over, and it'll be recorded and stuff too. But he's like the guru of that loan,
Yeah, that
and
is
because they'll
good.
give they will give you what your purchase price is, what the cost of repairs is. Like they'll give you a loan for both of those, and you
Mhm.
only need like 3.5% down. So you
Yeah,
don't have that 20% down. You can, and you can do this with, your own home that you want to live in. It doesn't have to be a triplex, and it's only a four or less, four doors or less.
yeah, that's really cool. And that's why I asked you. I'm glad that you talked about that. So that's really cool that Powerhouse is having that guy on tomorrow.
Yeah, he's gonna
Um,
be a guest.
so are you an agent investors as
Yeah.
well too? You're an agent investors, and then
Well, here I'll
um,
kind of break that down how I kind of got in that if you want.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
go ahead, do that, please.
Well, in March when I got into this, I started learning, and I went from Paul McComas to, Jerry Norton like you, and kind of down the line, and it all led me to Pace. And then I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is where my heart is. Mr. Pace
Mm-hmm.
Morphy, that's where my heart is.
Yeah.
And then so I was on their creative finance page, and I had met Carlos Reese. And because I actually had a friend that rides BMX out in California. His
Mm-hmm.
name is Austin. He goes by Sauce the Boss, but
Sauce the boss.
he's in Southern California there, and he does all kinds of fix and flips and big time investing and all that. And he came from like,
Sauce the boss.
kind of an upbringing like mine, BMX riding and skate parks and stuff like that. So he was my
Yeah.
contact. So I'm like, dude, if I find, what do you need me to do? How can I help you? And he's like, well, if you can find me properties, I'll be your buyer. Here's my buy box. So I had that. So that's where I started. I started at the end with a buyer, because I was like, well,
Mhm.
that makes sense. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So if I find out what the buyer wants, this is before I learned about, all the reverse wholesaling and all that. And, so I just like figured it out. I'm like, well, that's what I'll do. So then I was on the Facebook, and I met Carlos in a group or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, I got this deal in Southern California," and I'm like, "I got a buyer." I'm like, "Let's do this." And so we got on the phone, chopped it up. Turns out that guy didn't want to buy it. So I was like, "Well, what am I gonna do now?" I'm like, "Dude,"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Give me some time. I'll find you another buyer. I will find you one." So I got online, started searching. I don't know where I even found the guy. I think it was like a realtor, or he had sold another house or something. Ended up skip tracing his number and finding out, which it was an LLC, which that was my first dive into finding out who owns an LLC and how to because it's a lot of detective work on there.
Yeah, it
Like
is.
it's very sleuthy, like, and I'm like,
Mhm.
man, it feels kind of weird, but I kind of like it also.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I just had to go to this guy's wife's Facebook page to find out who he was.
Yeah,
Then
I've been there.
So
Yeah.
I got in contact with this guy out in Southern California, and I was like, "Hey, man, I got this deal. What are you interested in buying it? Yada yada." And I was so nervous for that call. Like I remember, well,
Mhm.
I think I left a message, and then I was sitting there, and then he called back, and I'm like, "Oh crap! I gotta answer this. I gotta answer this. I gotta answer this." And I'm just like,
Super excited.
"Yeah." I'm just like, "All right, hold it together, Josh. Hold it together." I got on the phone. I was like, "Hey, I got this deal, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Yeah, I'd be interested. I actually live right here, like a block away from that house. I know I've been by that house, like I'm interested in it." And I was like, "Okay, well, here's what I'm looking for, blah, blah, blah."
Wow.
I go back to Carlos. I'm like, boom. This was within 24 hours. I go to
Mm.
Carlos, I'm like, boom, I got you a buyer right here. He said, he'll pay this, blah, blah, blah. He's like, "Bro, do you know what you have?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got a buyer, man." He's like, "This dude is willing to pay. He's going to pay 89% of ARV on this."
Yeah.
He's like, "You need to keep that guy in your pocket." And I'm just like, "All right, all right, all right, let's go." So sold that deal to that guy. And that there was actually three of us JV'd on that. We all got paid, and that was my first introduction
Wow.
to Carlos. And then that was this guy, my buyer. Now I still have a relationship with him. I use his proof of funds on all my deals that I'm getting. He backs me.
Wow.
He gave me his MLS access in California because he's actually a realtor also.
Mm.
So just nurturing that connection, that first buyer that I had, I just nurtured it, and through it I got a lot of other opportunities also. And then Carlos instructed me, and then from there, well, me and Carlos didn't get a JV agreement or anything. I didn't even know what that was. Like, everyone's like, I'm like, "Yeah, I got a deal. I found a buyer." Well, everyone's like, "Did you get a JV agreement?" I'm like, "A who?
Oh, what?
Who's JV? Junior
Mhm.
varsity?"
Yeah.
And then they're like, "No." And I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "I didn't get one, but I'm pretty good at reading people." Me and this dude have, we've chatted on the phone a good bit already. We've
Yeah.
had a connection, and I'm like, this dude's putting himself out there on Facebook, like, trying to build a business. If he would burn me, I could just put him on blast on there, and then he's not going to have any credibility. So I don't think he would do that because that would ruin
No.
what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
And it ended up being okay anyways. And then I learned about JV agreements, and you should use those,
Absolutely.
even if you
Yes.
do trust them. Sorry, I
Yeah.
mentioned it.
No, 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 no. I love it. I absolutely love it, man. Just getting to sit here and talk to you and get to know you and get to know your story. Um, so how, what are you like? How do you like agent investors? What is it like? Because
Yeah,
you're
that's
actually the first person that's been an agent investor that's been on the podcast. So,
well, with that first deal that I got with Carlos, I took some money and I invested in myself and joined a mentorship, which I was going to join sub two, but I thought if I joined agent investors, then that was value. A lot of my friends were already sub two. So if I joined that, then that was value that I could bring into my
mhm,
circle and bring
right.
into the powerhouse as well. And so I went and joined agent investors. And I went through the course and I started doing all the agent outreach, and I was having pretty good success. I was putting in a lot of offers. I would say for a solid month.
Mhm.
I was trying to put in 4 or 5 offers a day, and I was actually pitching creative finance too. I was getting agents that would want to work with me. We were actually talking strategies because I'm like, "Listen, I'm going to be putting in a lot of offers and they're going to be low offers. So let's think of what other things we can do to get some of these locked up, because you don't get paid until we lock one of these up. I don't get paid till we lock one of these up. And if you're doing all this work for me, let's think of how we can make it easier and
That's
how
a
we,
that's a good way to pitch it.
yeah."
Yeah.
So then I had some life things happen, and um, a lot of life things happen actually. So I actually fell out of the agent outreach stuff, and I haven't been doing it as much lately or
Mhm.
much at all, because since then I've kind of turned into the buyer myself also.
Right.
So now I'm buying, and I haven't really been doing the agent outreach. So honestly, I couldn't give you a fair opinion because I haven't put in the work in the program. So
Right.
I believe in Ryan, and I believe in his program, and I do want to get back into doing that strategy. But
Mm-hmm.
but
You got a lot on your plate.
yeah, and like I don't know if it is shiny object syndrome, some
Yeah.
for sure, but it's also like I got into this to not just make a check, but to have assets that are going to generate me money,
Yeah.
and something I can pass on to my family. I have to be the one in my family. It's not that I am the one, like I have to be the one. There is no
Mm-hmm.
one else. It has to be me.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm trying to go so hard at it too. It's like, and I'm doing it with no money. I got
Yeah.
no money in this. Like it's all like, my bank accounts are in the negative right now. And everyone's like, well, I can't afford Privy, or I can't afford this, or I can't afford that. Go through all your subscriptions of all your stuff you're paying for. Are you paying for Netflix? Do you need that? Get rid of it. Do you need Amazon
Mm-hmm.
Prime? Get rid of it. Do you and your wife have Amazon Prime? Why do you both need it? Get
Mm-hmm.
rid of it. I went through and cleaned up all of my subscriptions that wasn't related to my business or my goals. And then I was like, oh wait, I do have enough money to pay for this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta clean
Yeah.
up the BS. So I mean, if you really want it, it's possible. That's the crazy.
Yeah.
I
I
didn't even
bel
sorry, go
I
ahead.
No, you're good. I was gonna say I believe that that desire that you have is a key ingredient in making it as far as you want to go. As far as pushing the limits and going, that's what you gotta have. You
Yeah,
know
you're right. You gotta
what
go.
you just said.
You have to go after it. You know,
So
and I kind of look at it, I don't know. I'm big into like analogies and trying to metaphors and little things like that. I don't know. Maybe it's all the young Jeezy I listened to when I was younger. I don't know.
I love Young Jeezy. Are you? Yeah.
All the mad ad libs.
Lips.
But I kind of look at it. I'm a BMX rider, and at this, like, I look at it as like, when you go, it's a new jump you've never hit before. It's a double, and you got to pedal at it, or it's a trick that you're trying to learn, and you don't know what you're doing, and you know that you're probably gonna fall, and you're probably gonna get hurt, and you're gonna have to get back up and try it again. And that's how I look at all this. Is like,
Mhm.
it's just how it goes. Like I'm in recovery also. I'm an alcoholic, so I haven't had a drink for 4.5 years now.
Wow,
So
congratulations.
thanks, man. I think it was best decision I ever made in my life. Like, and I knew I always had this passion, and I knew that was gonna be something. Like I knew it, but I knew if I kept going down that path, all I would end up being was a drunk, an old drunk. And everyone been
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, man, he had a lot of potential, but look at him now."
Mhm.
So and I knew also that I had to go just as hard on not drinking as I did drinking. It's just as hard as I partied. I had to not party just as hard.
Mhm.
You know, like
Yeah.
and
You gotta replace it. You gotta. If you don't, like, what are you gonna do? Just sit, lay in your bed and watch Netflix? You're gonna hate yourself.
yeah, and then you failed yourself. You failed everyone else. I mean, it's up to you to make that.
And and
You
then
have
you
that chance.
and then you just want to sit there and wallow in it because I don't know what to do. What do I even,
And
yeah,
I know
I've been there.
you've been through that too, and I congratulate you as well. And that's something I think, people like us that have been through the struggle, that have been down low like that. I think that's what gives us that extra fire, is because we've already failed. We've already been at the bottom, so we're not afraid of that. That fear is gone. That
Yeah.
fear of uncomfortable, like we're already uncomfortable.
Yeah, got
We've
nothing
already
to
been.
lose. We got
Yeah.
nothing to lose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so my grandma told me last night. I was, like, telling her stuff and explaining things to her. She's the light of my life, but, uh, and she's like, "Josh, honestly, really, you do have nothing to lose." And I was like, I thought about it, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of very nice, and that's also kind of sad. Thanks, Grandma."
Yeah, I mean, it's man, it's a perspective thing, you know. Sometimes I have to keep check with myself every single day still because um even like hour to hour, like um it just I I could sit there and be doing great, and then if I start letting something bother me, I can let that take over the rest of my day.
Yeah.
Or I can do things like that, and it just completely diverts my momentum, and it's so hard for me to get back to where I was. So like that's really where I have to watch myself. Is like it's great if I'm getting momentum, but if I like slack off just a little bit, like my mind, like it's like demons in my head. They're like talking to me, like, all right, like start, do something else. So you like, I know that it's not going to be productive. So
Brother, you ever get them thoughts, you got my number. You give me a call.
right, yeah, absolutely, and I think that that is huge, man. Community, having people that you can talk to, and that have kind of been through what you've been through, who kind of know your situation and have the same goals and aspirations as you. I think that Catherine and I both kind of got disconnected from that for a little bit. Um, I've actually been having phone troubles, but I got my phone turned back on today, so like
Nice.
I'm good to go, bro. I'm about to give me some deals. I'm feeling good about everything. Like, got my W-2, been working. Like I'll go to work here after this, and just saving up so I can get into a mentorship. But powerhouse, I can be coming and getting in there and learning.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And
Come in, the water's warm.
yeah, yeah, I know. So like, what is what I know that you're big, and are you just like do you just help Carlos a lot? Is
Really? Yeah, you know, really, Carlos has never really asked me to do much, to do a lot of, anything. It's never been like a boss type of thing, or it's
Yeah.
just been, um, I'm just my personality. I don't know. I'm big into community myself also. So when I came into this space, like I already had a community mindset, and that's why I loved Pace so much too.
Mhm.
And Carlos has that same mindset. That's why he built Powerhouse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because before this, I do like art and like some crafting and stuff like that. And
Cool.
within that, I built a community within the art, and it's like graffiti and artists and stuff like that. Well,
Really?
I built a big community within that before I started doing real estate. And so that is what really gave me joy, was like being able to bring all these people together, and everybody help each other and lean on each other. And this was in art, an art world.
Yeah.
And so that's what brings me joy. Rather, yeah, money's sweet, but really being able to pick someone up like when they're in their dark spot and help them out, man, that's way more than money. Like
Yeah. It's
so that's when so me and Carlos, we just meshed like that. I could see his vision, and I knew as soon I just believed in him 100%. So I was willing to just do things, and just started doing things and for the powerhouse, and started help him it grow organically. And that's
yeah.
all been organic growth. And that's because that's what I learned in building my own community in the art world, is I did it all organically. You
Mhm.
go and you reach out to people, you help people. If someone messages you, you try to message. I can't get to everyone now, but which sucks because that's what keeps me up at night, is like the people I didn't get back to. I'm like,
Right.
oh gosh. But I think that's every entrepreneur. But
Yeah.
so yeah, so I just started helping Carlos in the powerhouse, and then it just kept growing, and he actually made me, a leader in there also early on, just because I don't know, he saw the potential in me that even there, like I very early on, like I have some depression issues, and like still like I didn't quite believe in myself. Well, that imposter syndrome too, like
Yeah,
everybody gets, and like, and Carlos saw something in me that I saw in myself, but I was like foggy about, you know, and he
it's
pulled
like,
me out of
yeah,
that. Like even in those times when I said I was going through a tough time after I joined Agent Investors and all that, and then I went through still going through a bunch of family things and stuff like that, and like Carlos called me, and like, those days when I wasn't checked in, I wasn't really doing anything, being active, he would call me and just see how I was doing, seeing, a friend,
yeah,
and like, so I've always believed in him, and I've always believed in his whatever he's trying to build 100%, and he hasn't let me down yet.
yeah.
So, and we're coming up, and like we're coming up, 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 up.
I know. Oh, bro. Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't know when the first time I met Carlos was, but I know I think I may have called him like after Pace did the first Gator lending thing. That's when I talked to Carlos for the first time, and when I joined Sub 2, like I started talking to him, and I knew too, like I knew he was like kind of early on, but like just his attitude, man, and the way I was like, man, this dude's got it. And then when I saw Powerhouse, and then I was like, I've just seen the progression of y'all, and it's been so cool, man, how y'all have done it. And I mean, do you know how many people are in it right now?
I think we're
It was
almost, I think we're close to, we're probably about 500 now.
okay, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that's a lot of people, man. Helping
Yeah.
a lot of people, and
And like this morning we have, because we do in the mornings, we do the breakfast club now, where we have a morning role play and then Q&A and stuff. And we do that from 9:30. Well, it's 9:30. It's 6:30 Pacific time. But this morning we had 20 people in there role playing, and like that's we just started that one a couple weeks ago. And then, but we've
yeah,
been doing our evening role plays for a couple months now. And then we
mm-hmm,
record them all too, and I put them up on Carlos's YouTube and
yeah.
try to edit them and stuff. I'm a little behind on that because so I'm trying to do so many different things too. I'm editing video. You know how long it takes to edit a video and put it on YouTube?
Yes,
It
I
takes a
do.
minute, and hopefully your computer don't mess up.
Yeah, it's a lot. See, and that was another thing too when I came in. It's like there's the social media aspect of it to like where I had to learn a bunch of stuff on that as well. Me and Catherine, we did Pace the Project Next thing.
Drive,
We
yeah.
yeah, we did the Project Next, so we got Dean and Tony's like modules, and like I went through
Yes.
them
I
all.
wanted
So
I wanted to do the project next. Like I went to the Thrive, the
hmm
3-day thing or whatever, but I didn't have the cash. I was like, focus, Josh. Just pick one thing. Don't get too crazy
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Uh,
I think it was. I mean, I've went through like so all of Dean and Tony's stuff. There's like basic like the portion you're supposed to go through for mastermind.com, and I've
mhm.
went through all of those, and it was so good, man. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
it was so good. They really teach you a lot of stuff on just, I mean, even if you're not gonna do like a course or something, if you're just making a Instagram reel, it helps.
yeah,
Like because
awesome.
you start thinking in your head, you're like, oh, like this is kind of how everything should work, and
Yeah. See,
it,
I paid for Billy Jean, like one of his
oh,
marketing
okay.
classes too. So I'm in some of his classes also.
I guess so. Billie Jean was at Thrive, right?
Uh,
Yeah. I
yeah, I
think.
think he
Where
was
did
at.
I see
He
him?
was no, you probably saw him at
Clever Summit.
Summit. Summit.
Okay,
Clever
Clever
Summit. Yeah.
Summit. That's where it
Yeah.
was.
Dude, he moved me at Clever Summit. That's when I met, Kia Archie. She's in sub two. She's down
Uh,
in
uh
Florida. But I
no.
met her because I went there virtually to the summit, the
Mhm.
Clever Summit, and I was in the chat. Like I was so active in the chat, and I was blowing up Powerhouse, like and Carlos, and I was just in there, like, let's go. Like we got so much.
Yeah.
Powerhouse got so much action because we had a lot of people in there watching virtually. That was like just, dude, just hype
Mhm.
man in it. I love
Yeah.
it. And that's like it's like I used to be a supervisor at like Wiseco Pistons, He used to make race car pistons and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was, when I became supervisor, I was all about my people. I would help my guys on the floor. If they need to go to the bathroom, I'd go run their machine for them, anything. But
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
And you treat your people right, those people are going to treat you right. Anytime I needed anything, I didn't even have, other guys like, other supervisors like, how do you get your guys to do everything? I said, I just ask them. That's it.
Hmm.
That's it. Like, because I respect them.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's that whole boss leader thing, you know. I want to be a leader, not a boss.
Yeah. That goes a long way. It was, dude, clever. It almost like I can't even believe that I went. Really. It was really a wild thing. Like literally just in the chat of Wholesale Hotline, got a free ticket
Did you?
from, yeah, from Scotty Free. You know
Dang.
Scotty?
I don't think.
Um, he got his Instagram is Redneck Investor.
Redneck investor. All right.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think I need to write
Dude,
that down.
dude, no, but Jerry Norton just did an Instagram reel on him.
Oh,
Like, 'cause
really?
yeah, bro. I was like, dang. I was like, oh
Nice.
yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Dude,
Um,
so that's awesome. You got a ticket.
yeah, so he gave me a free ticket, dude. Super, super cool guy. Um, Me and Catherine both flew out there, but they lost one of our bags, which had all of our medicine in it, and
Oh, man.
um, it made day one not good because we had to like go to the ER. Like while Pace and Jamil were on the stage, so I literally missed Pace and Jamil. Um, but we got it worked out, and then day 2 and 3, like both of us got to go in. So Catherine got to come in. So like we got
Nice.
to finish it out. It was so awesome. And like I'm just like thinking back to it. And I guess it's just because I've grown a lot. Like I went there and I was so green, man. Like I was so new when
Like,
like it was crazy. But like people had already known me because I like when I joined Sub 2, like of course, I like am kind of loud. Like when I, get on it,
yeah.
whatever
Yeah, I
I'm
was
doing,
looking.
I'm like,
Yeah, I was
"Yo, what
looking.
up?"
I think the first time I saw you was on Wholesale Hotline. I think Pace might have brought you on or something.
Oh, the Gator lending thing.
I,
Was it me and Catherine?
it was you and Catherine. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
Gator lending.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
might, but I think I saw you in the chat before then because I was always trying to be active in the chat because I can't. Sometimes I'm like, Josh, just shut up, quit. I can't help like put jokes and like kind of funny stuff in there and like I don't know, my brain, I can't control it sometimes.
Yeah.
But but being active in that chat brought me a lot of like, a lot of homies and like a lot of people that I met, like even little Joel, like,
Yes, dude.
you
I
know,
love Joel,
first,
bro.
like I was like, who is this guy? Da, da, da. And then
I think
I
everybody
love
in the
Joel
chat,
now.
everybody in the chat knows Joel. Everybody.
Well, they have to. Yeah, he's a staple.
If you've been to Wholesale Hotline, you know him
Yep,
for
yep,
sure.
for sure.
uh,
He's
um,
branded himself just like that.
yeah, no, he's he's something else. But yeah, Wholesale Hotline was big for me getting back in. It's really what got my wheels going. Carlos and you have been a huge inspiration to me. Because I want to do my own thing as well. Like, I'm trying to, you know, push the limits. I'm trying to do as much as I can. So like, seeing what y'all do is super inspirational, and it's just proof that it can be done.
Dude, you as well. I'm stoked for you. When I saw you were doing a podcast, I was like, yes, yes, that's perfect. Like that's perfect because that's gonna lead you so many like you're gonna have so many different connections. Like
It's been great.
especially like one of our friends, Dustin Reyna. Do you know him?
I think I was in Powerhouse one day, and I think he came in and he was talking. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a podcast too called Dedicated to Excellence.
Yeah,
And
I was in there that day. Yeah, I remember that.
and the people he's had on there, it'd blow your dang mind. I'm like, "What, dude? Like, that's crazy." And it's like, and he's learned and made so many connections through that, and it's just that's dude, you're going down the right path. I love it. And oh, you and your family's all cute and everything too. Like, I don't know. It's
Thank
just
you.
like I love good people. Like, I just like good people, you know?
Yeah, well, it's taken us a long time to get here. 2 years ago, you probably wouldn't have said that about us. We're sleeping in the back of my car,
Mhm.
like not doing good. So it's been a lot of a turnaround since then, and um,
You guys should be
you
really
know,
proud.
yeah, that's we got to keep it in perspective. Just we've made it a really, really long way, and like we just got to keep chipping away at it, and we're
Yeah,
gonna be gravy.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I love it, dude. I love it. Like, I don't know, people that like try, like there's so many people out there that are just okay with the bare minimum, or just okay with just being like they're content with just doing nothing, like no
mhm.
progression ever in life. And I'm just like, what? To me, like, there is no life without progression.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Hell no, baby. We going for it around here.
right, woo! Hey,
Yes, sir.
I just bought a house in Alabama today.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got it under contract today. Midfield, Alabama.
I need a bell.
And- Yeah, I
I
know. I
need
need to
a
get one.
I need a Brent Daniels bell. Ding,
Mm-hmm.
ding, ding. I'll get something else.
Yeah, let's come
I'll
up with
get
some.
a I'll get a button.
Ching.
Yeah. Something. Cool, man. Well, it's been amazing talking to you. I've had a super, super fun time. I'm glad I got your phone number. Let's
Yeah,
stay
dude.
in touch, man. Um, I would appreciate some accountability and friendship, and just you know, you've got some experience. So um every man is superior to me in some way, and that I learned from him. So
Wise words, brother. Yeah, I'm here for you, and like likewise, like, if you need anything, like hit me up, and yeah, we're homies in my book. Like
absolutely.
I appreciate you having me on here too. I was all nervous. I mean, this is the first time I've even done anything like this, so I was all like, ugh.
Bro,
But
man, I've seen you putting in that work. I wanted to give you your flowers, bro. I know you've been working your ass off, and not only working your ass off, but you've been seeing results, and you've been helping other people, which is the most important, and that's really, really what it's about. So, I thought it was very appropriate to go ahead and get you on, man.
dude, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. All
What you're
right.
doing,
Well,
man.
good deal. What did you say?
I said, keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, I will. All right, good deal, man. I'll talk to you soon, and have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk soon, bud.
Yeah, let's get it.
All right. Peace out, bud.
Later.